Early in 2026, the market value of legacy software companies evaporated by over $1 trillion in a matter of days. Frontier AI models like GPT-5 hit a major benchmark known as GDP-val, proving they could perform tasks across 44 economic occupations at the level of a human expert. That capability triggered a mechanic called seat compression. If a single AI agent can process the workload of 5 employees, an enterprise suddenly doesn't need to renew those other 4 software licenses. This technology broke the per-seat pricing structure that sustained the largest tech giants for the last 2 decades. Look at that collapse in corporate software needs, and the immediate logical assumption is a corresponding collapse in white-collar employment. This chart illustrates the actual 2026 labor data. The overall hiring rate is plunging well below the baseline. But look at the secondary line. The white-collar workers who retained their jobs are seeing their wages spike by 20 to 40%. At a global scale, the World Economic Forum projects a massive restructuring by 2030, with 92 million jobs displaced, alongside 170 million entirely new roles created. The machine acts as a hyper-targeted filter. It rapidly devalues the exact type of knowledge our modern corporate economy was built on. To understand why certain jobs are disappearing while others pay a massive premium, we can look at an economic framework from the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas, which divides all white-collar labor into 2 specific categories. The first is codified knowledge. This is textbook learning, routine programming, and data entry governed by strict rules. The second is tacit knowledge. This is experiential understanding, encompassing complex problem-solving, nuanced judgment, and empathy. Over the last few years, generative AI models achieved near-perfect execution within the codified domain. The market value of executing routine, rule-based tasks has effectively dropped to 0. If a daily workflow relies entirely on codified knowledge, that worker is now competing against software that operates 100 times faster for pennies. Because entry-level positions like junior developers, paralegals, and commodity writers are constructed almost entirely of these codified tasks, those specific roles are being rapidly eliminated. Senior roles, however, derive their value from accumulated tacit knowledge. They require contextual decision-making and strategic oversight that current algorithms cannot replicate. This creates what economists call the augmentation premium. When a senior worker deploys AI to automate their codified busywork, they instantly become a hyper-producer, capable of generating the output of 5 people. That hyper-producer is the exact reason corporations are shedding their extra software licenses. They have one highly augmented expert doing the heavy lifting. The market has reorganized to reward tacit human experience directing AI execution. That dynamic perfectly explains why the experts who remain are commanding a 20 to 40% wage premium, even as total hiring slows down. This leaves us with a permanently bifurcated workforce, and it creates a severe structural problem for the future of the economy. The traditional life cycle of professional skill development has been severed. We are facing a missing rung crisis. Because those entry-level codified jobs no longer exist, new workers have virtually no place to begin their careers and gain experience. Recent labor data shows the market is actively freezing out graduates under the age of 25. Corporations simply find it too expensive to pay entry-level salaries while waiting years for those new hires to slowly develop tacit skills. This puts companies in an impossible long-term dilemma. By eliminating entry-level roles, they have inadvertently destroyed the very pipeline required to generate their future senior experts. They traded the bottom of the career ladder for immediate productivity gains, effectively cutting off the mechanism for creating human expertise in the next generation. According to the Stanford AI Index and leading education policymakers, institutions face an urgent mandate. They have to overhaul how they prepare students for the modern workforce. Education systems can no longer focus heavily on testing memorized textbook skills because the labor market simply does not pay for them anymore. The new educational imperative is to cultivate durable skills. These are the strictly human-centric capabilities: resilience, complex critical thinking, and the ability to design and manage AI workflows. Success in this new market requires proving that you possess the discernment to wield the machine effectively. In the generative AI era, economic value flows to those with the uniquely human capacity to direct what the machine knows.